Images in book number 2, which is The Art of Connecting with Others. I think this habitude informs me so well on how to connect with people as a leader. We simply called it chess and checkers. Do you all remember the first time you learned to play the game of checkers or chess? I think my grandpa taught me how to play checkers like at 5 years old, and I thought it was all that, you know. And then when I was 12 in the 6th grade, he taught me how to play chess. And, oh my gosh, that was so different. But you know what bugged me for years? When you pull out the game board, you can't tell the difference, can you? It's the very same game board. So talk to me real quick. If I opened up a box of checkers and I opened up a box of chess, what would be the first difference I would notice? Pieces. Exactly. Think about it. In checkers, all the pieces pretty much look alike. They're the same shape, they're the same size, same color on your side. So you treat them all alike. In chess, however, if you have any hope of winning the game, you have to know what each piece can do. You have to know that a knight goes up 2 and over 1, and what a bishop does, and a pawn, and a rook, and a king, and a queen. Only in knowing the strength of each piece can you win. Do you know what I've noticed? Do you know what I believe this teaches me about leadership? Mediocre managers play checkers with their people. They treat them all alike, and they get average performance. Great managers and leaders have learned to play chess in the relationships of their life and their team and their kids. And they connect with people at the uniqueness of their personality and their strength. And those people flourish under their leadership. I'll tell you a quick story. This really became vividly clear that it was possible to do it in any scenario. I mean business, school, nonprofits, government, military even. In the military environment where your job is pretty much salute the guy ahead of you and do whatever he says, I saw this played out beautifully. About 4 years ago, I shared the platform with another speaker. His name was Mike Abrashoff. And Mike Abrashoff had just written a book called It's Your Ship. He was a retired Navy captain. And his last ship, the last command that he had as a captain of the Navy, was the USS Benfold. Now get this. He was given the worst performing ship in the Pacific Ocean. How'd you like that for your last job? Here's the worst we got. Have fun. Okay, they sent him on the ship. Well, Mike told me backstage, he said, Tim, when I stood on the deck of that ship the first day, the departing captain was doing a farewell, and when he left, the sailors cheered. Not a good sign, okay? In fact, Mike told me, my whole goal was, how can I not have that happen to me in 4 years when I leave this ship? Well, he admitted to me that up until that point, he'd really been a pretty average leader. But he realized he needed to change the way he led. And Mike Abrashoff began playing chess instead of checkers in a very checkers environment. He had over 300 sailors on that ship. Do you know what the first thing he did? He interviewed them all one-on-one. Spent out 25 minutes with each one. Sat down alone, learned their background, who they were, strengths and weaknesses, wrote it all down, and then filed it away. And then whenever a problem arose on the ship, he didn't solve it as the captain. Remember the book? It's Your Ship. He would give ownership of that problem to sailors that had strength in that area. Watch this. Regardless of rank, he'd mix up ranks. But sailors that had strengths, men and women, he put them together, give them about 30 days to come up with some solutions, and then another 30 days to implement a solution. And when they did, he honored that team in front of the entire crew. And then the entire crew got a steak dinner. That's how he ran the ship. Do you realize something? They went from worst to first in 7 months. They went from the worst performing ship in the ocean to the very best. Now, can I ask you a question? At the beginning, you might look and say, oh, Mike, sorry, you got the worst sailors we got. In 7 months, they were the best sailors we got. What changed? Sailors didn't change. The leaders started playing chess instead of checkers. I'm telling you, there's talent in your people, there's talent in your people, there's talent in your people. And I know they're acting average because they've been conditioned to act average. True? But if somebody walks into their life and says, you are a bishop, or whatever it is, I don't know what it is, a rook, a queen, we've got to find out what's inside. And if we'll do that and tap into their personality and their strength, those people, seriously, that you thought were a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 10. But no leader had ever... You know what Mike told me? Mike Abrashoff said, Tim, all my sailors kept signing up for more terms in the Navy because they said, I've never been led like this before. My mom, my dad, my Burger King boss, I've never been led like this before. They wanted to stay under a leader that did this. I'm just saying, having trouble with retention? Having trouble with people acting average? It may not be them. It may be they need some chess players. Like Michael Orr did. Do you remember the story of Michael Warren? Did anybody see the movie The Blind Side?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a great movie a couple years ago? You know what I love about that movie? Not only was it based on a true story, it was a great story of this at-risk kid. Remember, Michael was this big old guy that grew up in the projects. And remember, his mama was a crack addict, and his dad, he didn't know who his dad was. And do you remember he was adopted into this family around Memphis, Tennessee? And do you remember? Because he was so large, they put him on the football team. I think he was the offensive line for a while there. But do you remember? He didn't know what he was doing. And his head football coach was a checkers player, yelling and screaming, barking orders at all the players. But his adopted mama was a chess player. And in one particular scene, you saw vividly the difference between chess and checkers in their leadership. Just watch.
Michael always does better when he sees what he's supposed to be doing.
Holding. Red tackle.
Michael, come on.
Or. Cover yourself. Hold it inside here between the tits. You got it? Will you look at me, son? If you grab him outside here like this with that horse collar thing you just did, he's going to get flagged and I'm going to be pissed. You hear me? All right, go.
Baby, wash my stuff. All right. Okay.
At least to look at him off the bus. They'll be terrified till they realize he's a marshmallow. Looks like Tarzan plays like Jane.
Give me a minute, Bert.
On the boat, practice, Leanne.
Maybe later. Michael, do you remember when we first met and we went to that horrible part of town to buy those dreadful clothes? And I was a little bit scared and you told me not to worry about it because you had my back. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
And if anyone tried to get to me, you would have stopped them, right? And when you and SJ were in that car wreck, what did you do to the airbag?
Stopped it.
You stopped it. You stopped it. This team is your family, Michael. You have to protect them from those guys, okay? Listen. Okay. Tony here's your quarterback, all right? You protect his blind side. When you look at him, you think of me, how you have my back, how you have his, okay? All right, go back. All right. Lumpy here is your tailback. When you look at him, you think of SJ. Now, you never let anyone or anything hurt him. You understand me? All right. Go back. Got it?
What about Collins and what's the Tony?
Fine. They can be on the team, too. Are you going to protect the family, Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Good boy. I'm going to have some fun. Yelling at him doesn't work, Bert. Just trust men. His experience, they pretend to care about you until they disappear.
Want to run flag?
SJ, you're going to want to get this.
Okay. Whoa.
Okay. What'd you say to him?
You should get to know your players, Bert. You
He tested 98% in protective instincts.